What's up, guys? Today this marks my July 29th, 2021 day trading recap. So I took about 10 days off-ish. I went on vacation to California, so I just took the time to reassess, reset my brain, and just chill out and relax. But today I went back at it. So August came early. Last week it was also very slow. And usually every year, August and the summer months tend to be very slow. Not barely anything runs and yada yada yada. But we do have some rudders here and there, so we'll go over today's day trades and what I did wrong and how I did. So I started off the day at buying HBP. So let's check the 5 minutes. So I added HBP at let's see. So I added at about 9:40ish. So I think yeah, that's what happened. Huh. Okay. So what ended up happening was I tried adding off this trend line at 9:40, I think. Wait, no. Yeah, I added at 9:40, right? And I got filled at 685. So around here. Interesting spot. Oh, I think okay. Yeah, interesting spot. Oh, yes, I see what happened. Yep, okay. So I added here because it was in demand. Yeah, that's why I'm dumb. Sorry. So I added in this was demand, right? So we got to push up to supply it open. And I added here in demand because I wanted to retest and go, right? So yeah, I got 685 ads, then I kept on dipping, right? Then I added again 675 at around 953, and I saw it just sitting on this um trend line, right? And it just knifes, and I just got stopped out. So I think what I need to do is because I got 654 cells, right? But this held support, so I should have just said, okay, if it breaks support, then I'm out, right? But it didn't break support, I should have just held. And it did get back to my average and then a little bit higher, tested VWAP, but it didn't go much anymore. It didn't go much further. So that's what happened here. But yeah, I should have just said, okay, now if it breaks support, then we'll get out. But my plan was, okay, if it breaks demand, then I'll get out, which I followed through, but I was late to it. So I think I'm gonna start setting a little stop loss, maybe depends, maybe like 6-7 ish cents under the under demand, right? Or 5 cents, right? Because as we saw this knife, and I got fills at 654. So yeah, no, 656. So pretty much the very bottom, which was unfortunate. Then we got a hammer candle, but barely any volume. I mean inverse hammer, barely any volume, and then a reversed up. Got a little push. See, this would have been a nice play if you got like 656 ads and then set 6.9s, right? 6.9s. So that was a nice scalp if anyone caught that. But after that knife, I'm like, okay, let me look for the next player. So then, yeah, that one was with that. Let's see if I see anything. So yeah, pretty much the whole thesis was this pennant is gonna break out. which, like I said, it did at open. I should have probably added, but so open, it was in demand, right? And I drew this after this happened. So I drew this demand zone after this move happened because honestly I could not find a demand zone. um, I can try to find one now because look, like, you know, there's no previous um movement or momentum here. It just got a fat push from fives to sevens. So I didn't have much to work with. Now, if we go to the 4 hour, I could have maybe found a zone here, right? So I found this zone, right? There was a zone here, around here, a 4 hour zone, but it never got to that point. And if we keep on going, right, I couldn't find anything much on the 4 hour, right? So, yeah, that's that. Which was just a loser, but it's all good. And then here's another inverse hammer. So we gotta push up, and then here's a shooting star, right? This one actually got volume. This candle actually got volume, um, and then it just faded the rest of the day. So the next stock I traded was CLCP. This is also unfortunate. So I was mad at myself because I had this demand zone perfectly drawn. Now let me just. I think it was 5-minute demand. No, it wasn't 5-minute. Yeah, I think it was 1 hour, honestly, or not. 15-minute. Let's see. Yeah, so it was 15-minute demand. We drew it here, and then we saw a big push up, right? So it respected demand perfectly. We got this push, right? And then yeah, we got this push up. We get a little pullback, right? So I should have started accumulating here, which is unfortunate. But I just left it there. I just left it. I'm like, okay, it's in demand, and then I should have just added when added more here. So I should have took 10% here, right? When it hit here, 131 around, and then we got this fat 10 cent move up. Okay, supply. I could have sold some. I could have sold my position, scaled out, tend to come down back into supply, right? Moved back into supply, and I saw this move, and I'm like, whatever, I'm just gonna leave it. I didn't take it, and we got this nice move up from 1.3 to all the way to 1.5. So 20-cent move. It isn't huge, but hey, you want to take whatever you can in these slow markets because you're not gonna find big movers. You're just not gonna find big movers in this market. So then, but yes, to add, I bought CLCP at 1.32. I got filled, so right here. So I'm like, okay, it's in demand now. Let me add, right? And what do you know? Sadly, it breaks out. It breaks down, and I just sold at 1.27. So there was nothing much I could have done there. We were getting also like not bad volume as well, right? And this is like an inverse hammer look that here in demand, and it just broke through, kept breaking through, and then that was it on the 5-minute. So let's see if I could avoided that in any way. So no, I mean, yes, this is an ugly candle, but that's the 10-minute. That's after the fact, right? And yeah, I would have not known during that time. So honestly, yeah, I was just unlucky with that one as well. I was adding in demand, and it just didn't hold. Then it formed this uptrend, bounced off 1.24. I didn't take this because I just wasn't looking at it. This is literally like 7 cents, which is nothing. And you would have to wait like what, almost an hour for 7 cents. Like, no one wants to do that. But yeah, and then we see this shooting star look, pulls back a little bit, hits trend line, gets a move up, and just fades the rest of the day. So then I tried VXRT. There was a lot of hype around this ticker, but it actually ended up doing absolutely nothing today. Wow, interesting. Okay, so everyone was looking out for this pennant that it was making. Let's go to the 5 minute. It seemed to look, no, not a pennant, sorry, like a wedge look to it, and then it broke down. So I added at right here. I actually got 8.74 ads because I'm like, okay, here's support and here's a trend line. I think this holds. Nope, knives. So that was also unfortunate. I just sold at 6.64. So I rushed that, honestly. You know, like, I should have just waited for it to really set up. Because what I noticed was I was listening to a podcast, and what one of the guys on the podcast was mentioning, he's like, he waits for something to curl up. The risk to reward is better. Instead of buying at support, you know, you want to see a little bit of confirmation. Okay, is it curling up? Okay, that's what I think I should have done, and see what the stock was actually going to do, right? Um, which I did. Which I did later on in the day. And we'll go over that trade as well. But yeah, that was just another unfortunate trade. Just kept on getting knifed. So you see how easy it is to just get knifed out. And I'm playing really small, honestly, in this type of market. Like, I'm not going big. It's just not worth it. So I just go really small size. And then I tried playing NAOV. Added at, so yeah, we saw this so this was interesting. So I added around 11 o'clock. I got 2.83 ads. Yeah, so this was actually good. So I think I was playing this on off the 3. No, off the 5. It was off the 5. So yeah, at 11 o'clock, I added here. Actually, I should have added off the trend line, but I tend to not. I tend to be scared with trend lines, honestly, because oh wait, no, sorry, I didn't have this drawn. So sorry. Let me rewind. I drew this trend line later on. After I noticed after the fact. After this move, I actually noticed that trend line. I added here around. I just added pretty really high, actually. Now that I look at it. But we had VWAP under ourselves, right? And we had a lot of SMAs like the 13, the 20. So VWAP is a good usually a good support level ish sometimes. So I'm like, okay, let me just add it here. Got our push to 3. I scaled some out, and I was like, okay, let's see if it bounces off this trend line. I drew this after the fact, after that move. I'm like, oh, here's another trend line. It didn't bounce, it broke through, and I just sold the rest of my shares. So then, yeah, so this was annoying me for a minute. Then I tried adding off this trend line. So if it held this trend line, it was way more bullish, right? If it got to this trend line, the pattern was reset. It's still on a trend line, right? You see from here, touches here, to here, right? I'm like, okay, let me try this now. Let me try this. So I added 2.7 around like, yeah, 1123, 1124, so around here. And we were right at VWAP, so I'm like, okay, maybe we get a pop. We get a bounce. But 2.65. Really? I sold that. Okay. So I panic sold. Oh wait, that's interesting. I thought I didn't. Um. Okay, yeah, I guess I did. So I guess I panicked. It broke VWAP for 5 cents, and I sold. Um. I don't know why I did that. I try to tell myself today that give yourself room for the stock to work out. Don't panic just for 5 cents, for 10 cents. You know, give yourself a little bit of room. So, but then I ended up adding again at 2.69, and I just kept on holding, and then we get this nice little pop. I'm like, yay, we're gonna get a push. Got to 2.8, and then it falls down, and then fades, breaks VWAP, and I sell at 2.63 right here. So yeah, I was really yeah, I was kind of taking like not the best setups in the world, but not terrible at the same time. Um, that could have been a really easy scalp if I went big, but once again, I'm trying to not lose out on and just take massive losses in this kind of market. So, which is okay. Then XBOI was yeah. Oh wow, I didn't even know that. Okay. So then I traded XBOI. Wow, so look at this move. Man, look at this move. Insane. What a move. So I was in the Discord, and actually what ended up happening was I added XBOI at 4.77 at oh yeah. Yeah, here's what happened. I was going for this 4.75 breakout, broke out a little bit, got to 4.87, rejected, and faded down, and then I just sold 4.59. I really gotta stop trying to trade the breakouts, even though they do sometimes work, but in this market they don't tend to work whatsoever. Um, unless I have a lot of confluence behind, like, oh, this is a huge level, which there's only one wick. Honestly, so I should have just known, like, yeah, it's a level, but it's nothing to buy a breakout above. So, which is okay, it's all good. Let me turn off. I hate when it does this. There we go. Okay. So then I was watching it. I kind of just stepped back after that, and I was just chilling. Then a little bit later, um, yeah. So a little bit later in the day, um, I saw this downtrend it made, correct? And hold on, let's go to the 5 minute. I saw this downtrend, and I'm like, okay, we're at support. VWAP's under us. We're at the 13 SMA, which doesn't mean a lot, but it's something. In the 20 SMA, let me try and add this downtrend break. I usually don't like downtrend breaks, but I'm like, let's try this. I add at 3.39. Beautiful move. Beautiful move, right? We got almost $1 out of that. But sadly, I scaled out way too early. So I sold some at 2.61. So around here. Because I thought this was going to get stuck. But I got to be patient more. That's what I need to do. I had no reason selling here, which is okay. I sold some here at resistance, just in case it got rejected. It actually flew through resistance. I sold some more, and I sold the rest at high of day. And it ended up actually dipping down and going for another run. And look at where it is now. It's all the way at $6. So of course you're not going to know that. It's a day trade. And like I said, like a podcast I listened to, he waits for it to curl up. So I saw this, it broke through. I'm like, okay. Then I saw this candle. I'm like, all right, let me get in. Added, and then we got a nice move. So that's what happened with that. It was a good play overall. Probably should have held like maybe 10% just in case. That's what I need to start doing. Scale out a good 90% and maybe hold 5 to 10%, right? And just in case it keeps on going, right? You never know. So yeah, that was a good play right there. I was happy with that one. So, and then the final trade I took was PRFX. I added around 4.04. Yes. So this was again. I was trying to add the breakout. I was getting alerts that $4 was going to be a big break. Broke got in at 4.04, got filled. Only got to 4.09, rejected and fell down, and then and I just sold. I sold. Got filled at 3.87. Took a loss on that. But I recouped a lot of my losses with XBOY. So yeah, that's about it. You know, don't. What I learned is, don't trade the breakouts in this market unless you have a lot of confidence behind it, a lot of conviction that this is a huge level. It's gonna go. Um. So yeah, and then little mistakes here and there, but overall, I think we did fine. Our first day back. I still got to get in the zone, got to get in the groove again. First day back after like a 11-day break. So that does it for today's recap. And thank you.